This is a topic, especially past life topics, when they come up that people want to talk about. So we are going to talk a little bit about past lives and a little bit about um, understanding why we pick our personality and our souls and why we come in. And it's hard for some people to wrap their brain around this, right? Sorry about that. And so tonight I'm going to do my best to try and give you guys an understanding of who we are, how we come to be. All right. And then once that plays itself in, it's easier to understand yourself. And as you all know, we are all here for self-awareness, for self-learning. Self. This is then a vibration that comes out of self, and then it becomes a part of the vibration within your close-knit loved ones. And then the loved ones vibration vibrate, and it becomes this basically spider web grid that turns into a community, and the community turns into a city, and the city turns into, you know, a global perspective. And so it's just a basic. It's just hard to wrap your brain around because we're so caught up in external resources that we forget who we are. Okay, so I'm here to remind you who you are. So we're going to get started. Those of you who are new, welcome. By the way, all of you newbies on Facebook, all of you newbies on the Zoom call, welcome. I'm Dawn Thompson. If this is your first call, I love seeing all these new faces. So welcome. This is the Truth Tribe. And as you all know, we are here discussing the universal truths, and that nobody's truth is right, nobody's truth is wrong, and that we're here to ignite expansion within. And ignite the expansion where we can get ourselves into programming and constricted thought. And our goal is to expand into universal truth and universal thought. Okay. And so tonight I brought up the topics of the sun and moon, how they influence you. And we're going to talk about the moon, as well as you choose your parents. So this comes up a lot. People can't believe, like, I would never, or how could I, or I didn't choose those parents. And so some people are like, well, of course I chose those parents. And other people, I wouldn't have chosen those parents. And I think it's just some organic thing that happens, and it's not. Okay. So let's start with all calls. I always start with, I'm sending you all love from the grid every single day when I go up and I go into meditation and I talk to my guides, and I want you all to know when I'm there, I am pouring down love, and I love you all, and I'm reminding you all that you are all perfect. You are all so perfect in every way, okay? And whenever things come up on these calls, people think, oh my God, I'm not good, I need to fix that. You don't need to fix anything. You're all perfect. What we need to do is learn how to embrace life and heal within. You're whole and complete, and there's parts of us that we don't see as easily, and it's hard for us to wrap our brain around, and that's the goal with all of these calls. Okay, so when I asked my guides, actually in the last 2 days, this kept coming up, and it surprised me because it's important for all of you to look at this from this perspective. You chose this life. You chose this, right? And it's so important, they're saying, for you to dig in and learn it and stop denying your truth. And it's a huge wake-up call that everybody's going through, all right? And so let's not sugarcoat this anymore. This year has been rough in the sense that it has rattled or programmed habits out of sleep mode, right, into wake-up mode. That's what's happening, okay? And it's what has happened. And so tonight I want to begin with a question, and I'll end with the question I always end with at the end of the night of, you know, asking you guys to think about something. But tonight I want to start with a question. So if you have a pen and paper with you on this call, pull it out. All right. And so one question I want to start with, what is your biggest concern or irritation in your life right now? Your life, not, oh, what's going on out there. In your life, whether it's you walking out in the external world and it's irritating you, or your internal world is irritating you, write it down on a piece of paper. Okay. What is irritating you the most right now in your life? Okay. We're going to discuss it further in the end, and you're probably going to have an answer as we continue throughout the call. And go, oh yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. But answer your question on a piece of paper. What is your biggest concern and or irritation in your life right now? I'll just give you a few seconds. And when you think about what that one irritation is, hi Don, good to see everybody. Welcome again, everybody on FaceTime or Facebook that are logging in, as well as my newbies popping in, welcome. So let's hang with that question for a minute, all right? Whatever is getting your attention right now is rattling your soul, all right? And so if one topic is bothering you more than anything else, I want you to let it sink in that you are being called to this class to sit up front in the front row, right? And listen and apply. And I mean, really listen to that topic, because that topic is what is getting you all flared up and waking you up. And that's what's going on for everyone right now. And so why I brought up the sun and the moon is I always bring up a planet per call to discuss and what's happening and how it's impacting you or how it's impacting anyone at this piece of our lives. What do they have to do with listening in class, the sun and the moon, right? So if you aren't self-aware, and I mean self-aware like paying attention to yourself, your bullshit, your inner self, your insecurities, your questioning of your worthiness, your deservingness, all of that. If you're not self-aware of that, okay, you're going to feel pulled in areas that you don't like, and then you're going to want to blame others for your own choice of skipping that class you were supposed to learn. And that's really in a nutshell what's coming up, okay? And so how do the sun and the moon influence this part of our personality? All right, so let's first begin with the sky tonight, all right, or today, shall I say. It's making its transition. Let's talk about the moon actually right now. So there is a new moon tomorrow in the sign of Leo, all right? And the reason I bring up the moon is because it's always a new moon, remember, is fresh and new. So it's always about intentions and beginning new intentions. And so new moons, when they show up, they're all about bringing in new thought, new ideas, experiences. Full moons are about closure. The moon is full and complete and it wants to let that go, all right? And so the new moon, when the new moon is not visible in the sky, which it's not right now because it's new, right? They're traditionally times of reflection. So reflecting within what we need to look at, what we need to deal with, right? So starting new. And it is in a fire sign that is ruled by the sun in Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun, okay? And so Leo is all about asking in the light of being ourselves and in our own personal uniqueness, like who am I uniquely that's different from everyone else, right? So after experiencing the past few intense new moons and full moons, and you've all experienced them because they've been heavy and intense, right? So this one, to me, it feels like this breath of fresh air, which it should, because the sun is about light and the moon is sitting in a light place or a lighter place, the sun and brighten. And so now we all have a chance to reflect on self-love with this moon coming in tomorrow and self-awareness. And as Leos tend to love themselves, right? I just think it's funny and it's so perfect timing, right? And they're better at loving themselves than most other people, okay? So one of the challenges is that they're very good at being the king of the jungle, right? They're teaching us to become the king of our own jungles. And many will feel the passion start anew and ready to bring in a new life and into projects and ventures and relationships. And so that's really important that we start paying attention to that, okay? I don't know why my Zoom is kind of stopping in and out, but if you guys are on FaceTime or I'm sorry, Facebook, just so you know that it is jumping in and out. So you're probably not going to want to be on that that broadcast. But as long as you can see me on Zoom, you guys, they can log in here. So let's continue with this Leo moon. All right. And so because the Leo is always teaching us about becoming the king of the jungle, I want you guys to think of it from that perspective. All right. There's a part of you that's learning to become the king of the jungle, and that's what's important. All right. And so many of you guys are going to start these newness, this new parts, these new relationships, these new parts of your life. We're not just breaking up old patterns all the time. So we have to move into a new creation, and you have to actively, physically take action to set your heart to match what your mind is now. And so the heart is Leo energy. It's the Leo heart energy is the chakra of heart of Leo. Okay. And so communication planet. Okay, so remember I teach you guys when we're looking at the planets. All right, here's the planet or here's the sun, and here's where all the planets orbit around. Okay, and so the sun had just moved into the sign of Leo. Then we had Mercury, which pushed into the sign of Leo. So the two of them are sitting here right next to each other. And now here comes this new moon, and it sits also on top of Leo, which it's all called a conjunction. They're all kind of sitting on top of each other, 1, 2, and 3. All right. And so this communication planet of Mercury will be sitting exactly next to both the sun and the moon tomorrow, aligning our mind and our sense of identity within our heart together. And so heart energy, which is Leo igniting it, and it's so vital right now for you guys, and it's ready for this kind of electric boot of self-love. It's almost like giving you the paddles, right? And it's starting to try and get you guys into that self-love connection. And so that's what it's asking. All right. And so if you guys can pay attention to that, that's what it's going to get you to open up. So why do I suggest sun and moon into identifying your mind and your heart connection? Okay. And the reason I say this is because those of you who know your charts, go ahead and pull out your charts. You can look and see where things are. But the bigger piece to look at right now is the sun shows your body, the moon shows your soul. Okay. And so if you can look at your own personal zodiac chart, you're going to be able to look at those perspectives, right? So it is crucial to learn right now to stand up for yourself and start living your soul's truth. All right. Live your soul's truth. That's what's so important. And when you're doing that, what I want you guys to understand is when you're doing this, I cannot stress enough, if you don't learn how to see your own truth, it's going to be an unnecessarily rocky journey, period. It's just going to get rocky. And being rocky there's no reason for that at all. Okay. And so if you can start looking at it from that perspective, it's going to change your mindset on how you walk through the world. All right. So the sun is where you shine, your sun. Okay. In your chart, you have a personality, you all have a sun sign. That's your birthday, right? And so the sun, where it shines, is where your ego is. Leo, sun energy is ego energy. It's your basic personality, but it's where consciousness is. It's where you're conscious and awake all the time, looking for that. Where do I take my body? Your vitality, your stamina sits there, where the sun is. Okay. So the sun symbol in astrology is how you can describe the reasoning behind your actions or your body's movement. There's your body. Okay. So when the sun at times, as well as Saturn and sun kind of come into play in this area, can indicate kind of father energy, masculine or male role energy. All right. So that driven male energy in general is in that sun perspective. So the symbol for the sun, it comes in from ancient times. If you think of it from, we're going to go back and forth into where all this comes from, right? Is very similar to that young symbolization of individual, right? It's where you are individually you. Okay. And this is because the sun represents the hero or the masculine, the hero of where you pull your sword out and you move ahead with your Mars energy. And so where that masculine energy is in you, which can be read as another story of transcending that little self, right? Our ego in favor of a greater integration of our true self, which is our soul self, right? So in myth, the hero typically must meet and overcome obstacles on his or her quest which in a natal chart can be indicated by the planets that make the close aspect to the sun. And so what's close to that sun will show itself, especially the stressful ones like the moon. And the moon can get stressful for a lot of you in some ways, right? And so that's where I want you guys to pay attention. So the moon in, let's talk about, so the sun is where your body, it's where you shine, it's where you push forward, where you have a lot of confidence and drive. Okay, in astrology, the moon, which is more important and more valuable sometimes because you can't see it, it's a subconscious, right? So the moon represents your emotions, your feelings, your comfort zone, your maternal side. And it's how you express your feelings and your vulnerability. And so it's where you have the highest highs and the lowest lows, right? And so moon represents the inner self, not the external self you show when your sun is showing, but the feelings and the unconscious. Sun is conscious, moon is unconscious, okay? So it is a reflection of the true self. And the moon also stands for your security, where you find groundedness or security, instinctual or habitual patterns. And these could even come from past life habitual patterns. So remember that, as well as the ability to relate to others in a sense of like nurturing, a way to nurture, to be nurturing to others, as well as being nurtured, shall I say. So the moon typically is the planet that rules the sign of Cancer, and it is the feminine within. And men and women, so don't confuse this, guys. Men and women both have that feminine nature in general, all right? And so we all have the masculine, the yang, and the yin, which is the feminine, all right? So it's often the contrast with the sun as the female receptive principle versus the masculine or the positive perspective, okay? So the moon represents the feminine and the nurturing part of yourself, and the moon also represents the part of us from the past that we don't like letting go. Oh, and that's what's been coming up for everybody, the shit that we don't want to let go of, right? Which operates on this instinctive or this habitual kind of level in your present life right now. And that stuff's going to keep coming up if we don't pay attention to it and become self-aware. So if the sun can represent the masculine or consciousness, and the feminine represents the moon, which is your unconscious, it can reveal why we see our parents within the masculine and the feminine that we learned growing up, all right? And so I want to be very clear. If you know your zodiac chart, if you don't know your zodiac chart, you can go on my website. I share this with everyone. Go onto the tools page, and down below there's a free, look up your chart. If you haven't done a hotspot chart, it will not do your hotspots, but it will at least show you where your moon sits on your personality or what kind of moon sign you have. And when you know your moon sign, it tells you a lot about where you're going to have highs and lows in your life. And when you're having lows, it's on you guys to take that class, to learn that information, to understand where it's coming from. Okay. And why do I bring this up? Why do I bring this up? Because if you are clear on who you are, where you get tripped up, or why you get stubborn and you have lows and you feel shitty about yourself, and you're like, what's wrong with me? If you can look minimally at your moon, you're going to start waking up, and you're going to start having more self-power and self-control and self-awareness to control and be more empowered in your life. Why? Because get ready, when it comes to parents, let's talk about parents. You choose your parents. And this is a question that has come up for me several times. And I think it's fascinating. Why? Because of course we choose our parents, right? You chose this. And everyone's like, I would never choose the life I've had, right? And so stop choosing something else, since you chose your blueprint. Everyone who comes in, they choose this blueprint. Not all blueprints are created equal, and no one is here to live your truth. No one. It's your truth. The moment you were born, we all choose our sign, we all choose our parents, and we say, look, source, God, universe, I need to learn this karmic energy. This is who I am, and this is how I need to grow, and this is what I need to become more conscious and more aware and more divine, spiritually advanced, wise, wisdom beyond my years. Whether you believe in generations, whether you believe in past lives, whatever it is, you need to understand that every time you come back as a soul, we are eternal souls. That means a constant, ongoing, never ending. So if you can wrap your brain around that one, you need to understand that this is not the first time, it's not your first rodeo. And so it's hard for most people to say, well, why would I choose those parents? Because they have a greater teaching for you than anyone else in this universe. So if you chose specific classes to conquer on this blueprint and you say, I need to learn this, you're going to come in at a specific date and a specific time when a specific moon and universal blueprint is sitting there to help you learn those lessons. All right. And so if you choose these classes to conquer in your personal blueprint, you can absolutely believe you chose those parents to enhance your education. It's that simple, right? And so here's the $1 million question. This is what people ask me all the time. So why would someone choose shitty parents, right? That's what I get all the time. Why would someone choose shitty parents when they can choose something else? Why would they choose insecure parents? Why would they choose abusive parents or controlling parents? The list is endless, right? It doesn't matter what's on that list. Is it because you have shitty karma and you're getting paid back? Because that's what people all want to know, right? That's what they keep asking me. Is it because I'm getting paid back for karma that I put out? No, no, no. It's not that. Okay. It is because you need to see an extra version, an extreme version of your weak spots on this blueprint that you chose to learn karmically. Okay. And if you don't see what you could or do possibly right now look like, you may not learn your lessons or even try to avoid or change those things within. You'll just avoid it. You'll neglect it. You won't go there. You'll say no thanks. Okay, so remember, karma, energy, blueprints show up for a reason. Karma is completion, right? We're here to complete your karmic understanding, your karmic lessons, as I call it, chemistry, right? Your hard classes. Whatever was hard for you is chemistry for me. It was a hard class. And fascinating as we all laugh, we don't all have that hard class. Chemistry is a breeze for some people. And for other people, it's just as hard for them as it is for me. Yet physics and physiology were like a breeze for me, and other people could pass chemistry no problem. Same thing when it comes to love, emotions, relationships, money, career, spirituality, intuition, children, etc. Those are your classes, okay? So it's simply completing the weak links in your fence or the chain link of your chain. That's that simple, all right? And so this question surfaces often, and it's not as hard to comprehend as you would think, all right? It's simply your soul has lessons for expansion, and each lifetime you must come to earth to learn more universal source or God wisdom, source wisdom, universal wisdom, the universal truths, all right? And so you travel in soul groups and you interchange titles and labels in a sense so that you get to see aspects and holographic images of your own energy and or blueprint. So you come to clear your karmic debris. It's not simple. We have all this karmic debris of saying, you know how to be bigger, you know how to be more of a badass, you know how to be a warrior and a nurturer and neutral and hard and dangerous and gentle, and all these things flow through you. It's remembering that to complete it when we're avoiding it, okay? And so if you can remember that you came here to clear karmic debris, if something's hard for you, that's some of your karmic debris that you're here to complete. So past lives being revealed as simply as technology in this now moment, right now in this technology world that we're living in, okay? And if you were to go back in time, I want you to think of it from this perspective, like back to Mesopotamia, where energetically, we'll take astrology back to then, to the stars 2,000 years ago, possibly even 3,000, okay? To relive, and if we were, let's just say, imagine, closed your eyes and blinked, we took ourselves back in time to then, 2,000 years from now, ago, I should say, and we looked up in the sky, it would be no different. It would be like a parallel to the now sky we have, right? Same thing. You can see it laid out on your phone on a blueprint in an energy grid with the blueprint of a phone program that shows you the sky and the stars and astrology and the universe and the astronomy that's happening right now. It's on either on a computer program on your phone. And it's no different than what the sky looked like 2,000 years ago when they looked with their own eyes and said, oh, there's the constellation of Leo in the sky right now. Oh, there's the constellation of Cancer or Virgo or Scorpio or Taurus in the sky right now. Oh, that's how we should take this download, which would be a technology showing us receive these energy downloads. This is how it is for you to pay attention. Or we look on a phone and go, oh, this is the energy in the sky right now. Pay attention to it. It's helping you. And that's where we're at. So, but really it's just a universal shift that's happening over and over again. The planets are shifting and they're moving around and around and they're changing spaces and they're changing places. So it's a universal, shall I say, energy shift. And it doesn't matter if you have like a sextant and you're back in 2,000 years ago and it's this instrument basically back in the day that ships would use, right, for determining the angle between the horizon and a celestial body, I don't know, such as the sun or the moon or a star. And they use it in this celestial navigation to determine the longitude and latitude of where they are. Where am I right now in the universe, in space? They would look out and see where they are, what energy they're sitting in. Okay, so, or we can look on a phone and look at the program and go, oh, it's the same way you navigate your horizon now, which would be no different than the vision or the destination you're trying to get to. Where's the horizon? Where are you trying to get to? And the energy appearing over you at this moment, helping you navigate. A sextant is just this marine navigation instrument which was used to measure the angle between two objects. An astrology program is used the same way to determine how close or how far you are personally from various planets of the stars. Done. It's that simple. 2,000 years ago or right now? We just have technology on our side. So what is their angle in the sky and how it's affecting you energetically? Are they pushing you to grow? Are they pushing you to slow? Are they pushing you to go? That's what these planets, the moon and the sun, and tomorrow's moon especially, are asking all of you to wake up to right now. Okay? That's what's happening. So, if you understand that the sky is your map of energy, and it's like this lesson of blankets, right? In each lesson you learn a blanket lifts up, and you can basically sense and determine what energy you had tattooed on you at birth, which would be the sun and the moon. Go find your sun and moon. You all know your sun. You all know the day of your birth, okay? But you can go find your moon very easily. And like I said, you can just use the link on my website and it'll show you as well. So you would find navigating the Earth's water, the Earth's planets, and the Earth's waters so much easier if you understood who you were while you're walking through this Earth's plane. And when you hit stuff, you know how you will handle it, and you're going to handle it differently. And some things that will be very sensitive and emotional to you, you're going to have to be a little bit more stubborn and controlled than other things that aren't emotional to you. And then I may have to be more sensitive and less stubborn because they're not really bothering me as much as maybe they should. Those are things we have to know about ourselves. And it makes life a lot easier to navigate. Okay? And so I want you guys to understand it's up to you to see simple parts of your personality and look at your moon. Let's just focus on your moon, okay? Let's focus on your moon sign and say, all right, what do I need to do to pay attention to that? Okay, so it's up to you to see this part of you and go, all right, if I'm gonna look at just the moon and I'm gonna ask, is it getting flared up right now? How are you growing, slowing, or going in this area, okay? So my moon, your moon, if you have your chart, guys, pull it up or look at it, or at least know where your moon is, okay? So my moon resides in my children, my romance, my fun house. Okay, so I always have to look at that part of my chart, my personality, and see, all right, where is it getting flared up, right? And so I've done really well by focusing on mastering my children, um, and romance. I'm a lot better in those areas than I used to be in my younger years. I would get very disappointed, okay? And so now it's poking me to pay attention to fun. It's asking me to grow and then go, grow more fun and then go, grow and go, right? It's not in slow mode anymore. I'm going to address, someone just brought up Pisces in my fifth house. I'm going to address that for her in just a minute. What I do want to address for all of you is slow, go, and grow. Slow, grow, and go. So write those down. Where your moon sits, you're either in slow mode, which would be, think of slow mode. Sometimes, guys, we think we're supposed to be like running and successful and doing it all and pulling it together. And sometimes we're in slow mode, right? Which would be like you being in a new sport or a new class, right? So you begin reading and you're understanding and you're integrating on how to play this new game, this new sport. You don't know it, you're just learning it, and it's new, okay? Then you get into grow mode. And the grow mode is applying the game's rules and plays that you've come up with. And you're like, oh, these are all the plays we run. And this is how we play the game to become more self-aware of these weaknesses and successes in the sport. Okay, you're learning them. And then we get into go mode. And go mode is where I have practiced this several times. I got this. I keep practicing. I'm confident in how to use my sword of aggression and my assertion to move forward and play this game. I'm confident to walk out onto the field and play it. Some of you might not be confident in playing in romance and playing and dating, but you have to go and first get into slow mode, learn it, then grow mode and practice it, and then get out and go and do it. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect every time, no, but you have to get the sword out and try and go and go and go until it actually becomes easy. And so this is a really big piece for all of you, is some people are like, well, I've been doing it over and over and I'm not doing any better, because you have to keep practicing, you have to keep growing, and then you have to keep going and doing it over and over and over again until all of a sudden you're like, wow, I have a lot of confidence here. And so this person who just replied on here says, I have a moon, okay, they have a moon in Pisces in their fifth house. So not getting, Pisces can get wishy-washy, indecisive, can get kind of delusional, but also critical and demanding. But they're also super creative and open-minded and fun and lighthearted and open-spirited and spiritual and intuitive, yet they can get indecisive and kind of wishy-washy. So finding yourself in the fifth house with this moon of this person in this fifth house, she says, oh, I need to make sure with my moon in my fifth house that I'm not too emotional about my children and my romance and fun, and I get myself more clear about what I want, and I don't get wishy-washy about having fun. I don't get wishy-washy with my children. I don't get wishy-washy with my husband, spouse, whoever it is. Okay, so look where that moon sits and look at, if you go onto, again, tools, onto ideserveitnow.com, onto my website, it has what all the signs, all the houses mean, and wherever your moon sits, that's where you have to pay attention. about that, guys. My fault. So sorry. I sometimes have, I sometimes get a little bit of interruption. So sorry. I'm back. Those of you who are still on here, tell me if you can still see me. You guys back? Am I back? Are you back? Yeah? Anybody who's on my chat, can you just throw me in a yay? I'm back. Okay. So Virgo. If you've got a Virgo moon, I want you to know that that's an area for you to go, look, am I being obsessively serving everybody? Am I obsessively focusing on health? Am I obsessively becoming perfect about everything? And I'm looking out there to help all them. And the moon is where we get so much engaged in everybody else that we forget that that's our inner healing, not our external healing. And so typically where your moon sits, you try to help all them, and we forget to help in here. We forget to fix the same thing within, and you're not broken, right? And so yes, the new moon in Leo tomorrow is in Leo. It is not where your natal moon chart sign is. And so those of you on Zoom, if you do, anyone else knows what your moon sign is, feel free to throw it into the chat window, and I am happy to explain to you where your moon is going to get you tripped up. Okay. And so one of the things that is important for all of you to look at is like, all right, how does this new moon in Leo asking all of you to start something fresh, start something new? And the fastest place for all of you to go is go into your moon, personal moon, and go, okay, is there something within me that I'm open to growing? Is there something within me that I'm open to starting fresh? There's a new project that's underway that I just launched, and I'm excited about it. Same thing, right? So my new moon being in the fun house and the stage house, and I'll share with you guys in a little bit, the new Spiritual Warrior Academy that's starting on October 1st. I'm literally over the moon about it. I am so excited about it. So the fact that I'm launching it tonight on this new moon, it gets me giddy. And not a lot of things get me that giddy, but I'm so excited about this new program because it is things that tuck to my heart and make me excited. And that's what I want you guys to open your minds to, is what tucks to your heart, gets you excited. It can be different for all of you. And so finishing something you started, yes, Jill, finishing something you started, a Virgo moon, finishing how you feel about yourself. Sometimes this is just completing, facilitating mental joy, emotional joy, feeling happy about who we are, acknowledging something within our minds and saying, I'm going to let go of an old belief. And this belief really is hard, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's completion of karma. Okay. And that's where I'm trying to get you guys to open your mind up to a little bit. So let's see, how am I doing on time? I'm doing okay. Okay. So anybody else here? Several of you guys are chiming in on your moons. Let me know. And even if you can see your chart, or if you have your program pulled up on your phones, if you can see your chart, go ahead and, let me know. If you can see on the chart, you can do a transit chart, and you can definitely open up on that chart and see where the Leo moon is going to be new tomorrow for you. And where that Leo moon is going to be new for you tomorrow is also interesting too, because it's where you're going to get tripped up. And it's funny, I'm opening up to a new course that I'm offering, and that Leo moon is in my teaching house. So the universe sets us up so brilliantly. Okay. It always knows what you need. Yet I want you all to pay attention. Your sun is where you shine, and your moon, where your body goes, where your body wants to step into the world consciously and knows where it naturally shines. It's easy. And the moon is harder, and the moon is unconscious. And so you got to push that unconscious moon up and go, I know this makes me nervous, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. It's okay. As crazy as this would sound, fun would make me nervous. I'm like this big planner and got to make sure it's on schedule. It's terrible. So my husband is like the brightest blessing in my world, because he just kind of takes me places, and I'm like, okay, because I trust him. And then I end up having so much fun when I do things a little bit more spur of the moment. So he helps me get into that place, and I help him into the, the planning and the foundation phase. So we all help each other. It's just opening up that door. Okay. So let's talk about tonight. What did we talk about? Let me go back and make sure I've covered everything again. So tonight's tips, the moon tomorrow is in Leo. So remember that, but I want you to write that on a piece of paper, because remember, anything new moon or full moon, it's very good to make intentions, but let them go. So I want you to write it on a piece of paper tomorrow. What new project have you been lazy at starting? Even if it's a project of saying, I'm gonna let this crappy belief go, that simple. And I want you to, whatever you've been lazy at starting, decide that it's going to become real and that you're ready to start it with a fresh, fun, and shine your light on it. Bringing new passion into this thing, topic, this situation, life experience, whatever it is, doesn't matter, okay? It can be health, it could be wealth, it could be emotions, it could be a specific experience, it could be a travel, it could be anything, okay? I want you to write that down, and then I want you to burn it. Okay, whatever that is, letting it go. Why do I actually ask people to burn? I ask them to burn because I think we get so caught on to, I gotta watch it, I gotta look at it, I gotta do this every day. And what the universe wants you to know is the second you put it down on hand to paper, we take action from the body and we put it into here, and then we burn it, and we, in our heart, we trust that it's already done and it's already within us. That's what sets it into the universe. And so that's trusting the universe to bring it back to you and drop it into your lap. Trusting source, trusting the divine, trusting God. Okay? So write it down, what you've been lazy on, but you know it's time. Write it down, put it on a piece of paper and burn it. Okay? That's the new moon tomorrow. Check where your sun and moon are if you don't know. Tip number 2, go onto my website, run a chart. Like I said, if you simply find those 2 signs and then Google the crap out of them, your sun and your moon, okay? And find your weak spots that you need to go back to school. It's that simple, okay? So your moon will take you down every time until you acknowledge that it has power over you. And this is how you get to wake up your subconscious to become conscious. So it's really cool about the 2 people, thank you, by the way, who joined me with the Virgo moon and the Pisces moon. Mine's a Libra moon, right? We have to look at not only the Virgo, but what house the Virgo's in. Not only the Pisces moon, but what house the Pisces moon in. Hers is in the 5th. My Libra moon, so the sign of Libra, but also the house of Libra, or I'm sorry, the house that Libra is in, which is the 5th house. Same as hers, 5th. So I want you to look at where that moon will get you tripped up. So you don't have to learn much about the zodiac, anything other than find your moon sign, okay? It gives you so much more power. And then number 3, I want you to check the stage that you're at in life. Slow, grow, or go. Guys, we're not all at the same stage of consciousness in our life. And this is a very, very big piece I want you guys to understand with what's happening in the world right now. Like I said, I'm not sugarcoating this rough year we've had, but that doesn't make it wrong. It just makes some of you waking up for the first time and going, holy crap, what is happening around me? You're in slow mode. You're just learning how to play this new game, right? You're just figuring this out. And some of you are in grow mode, going, all right, I woke up, now I'm going to learn this class, learn this game, whatever it is, this part of my personality. And some of you are in go mode. Like, I've been practicing, I've been learning, I'm ready, I am on a mission to take this down, and I'm going to be bigger and more badass than I was last year or the 10 years prior to that. Okay, so it doesn't make one version better than the other. It's just where you're at. So please, please, can I tell all of you, do not harass those around you for not being where you are, whether it's emotionally, medically, physically, spiritually, technically, in any form. We're all in different versions of slow, grow, and go. That's how basic I can make this for you, as opposed to thinking that one consciousness level or one understanding of your personality is going to be better than another. Some of you have been doing this with me for quite a while. You're going to have a little more advanced understanding of consciousness and the universe. And some of you, this is new. That's okay. All of this will open your mind and open your energy and open your spiritual truth, okay? Your inner truth, which is where I'm trying to get you guys to open up every call, okay? So tonight I'm going to leave you guys with one question. Get ready, write this down. Ready? If I chose my parents, and remember I told you, you all came in and you all looked down on this grid and you're all in the universe and you're all a soul and you all said, okay, karmically, I have not improved in these areas of my life. So I'm going to pick that date, that time with those two people, that one right there. Oh yeah, they're going to help me with this part of the grid on myself. That one's going to help me with that and learn that about myself. They're going to be extreme. I'm going to choose them to come in as a soul, and I'm going to learn from them. Thank you so much. So if I chose my parents, I want you to write down, if I chose my parents, one trait I dislike about them is question mark. Okay? And what about this dislike in them do I see in me? That I deny in me that sits in my heart. So let me tell you again. If I chose my parents, one trait I dislike about them is question mark. Okay. And I want you to really dive deep into that about yourself. Nobody needs to know, and nor does anybody care. But it's really important that you go, what do I dislike about that thing? And do I see in myself? And that I deny in myself. Because denial is why we're all here. We're all here denying that I'm not like that. I don't do that. I'm watching people do it all damn day on social media and in the news and in the universe. We're not like that. We're not like them. And my answer is, oh, the hell you aren't. You're exactly like that. The second we judge or we ridicule the people around us, and or let's kind of consolidate this down to our parents, our first understanding of love and understanding in this universe. I'm telling you guys, the first understanding you had, and any of you who've done iPod work with me, by the way, if you want to learn your iPod, just go get the relationship toolbox on my website and do your iPod. And I guarantee you, I have yet to find a private coaching client that their iPod does not match their charts, hotspots, and especially their moon and their sun and their weak spots of Saturn. It always shows me what their parents came in extremely strong to show them. Always, they always match. So it tells me we did pick the parents, and we do pick those parents to make us, get ready, better, more powerful, more amazing. Those parents need to get kudos for what they've done. Okay, so what are you denying in yourself that sits in your heart? And if your heart is holding this energy that we don't like within our parents, or it upsets us about them, right? It's blocking you from shining your truth where the sun sits. Your personality, right? So thank your parents for the enhanced education, expanded education in this area that will show you them and what you can overcome thanks to their lessons of this extreme teaching. Okay? And it can be small or it can be extreme, but find it and shine yourself out of it. I can't be more clear about this. The more you see where they were weak and where they tripped themselves up and it really frustrated you, it's where you can overcome and shine yourself out of that weak spot. They showed you, go, look, see this is what the extreme level of what you can look like. Don't go there. So it's totally up to you. But judging them, being angry for them. Now, again, you can extend this out to the world if you want. Maybe you don't see your parents. Maybe you don't talk to them as much, but that's no different than someone else that pokes you and pushes you in your current life, and it frustrates you and irritates you in the external world. They're reflecting the same thing. It's just your parents are easier to see it because you have more time with them. Okay. So, any questions I can further along on this topic, guys, for you on you chose your parents, on It will show up really strongly where your moon sits in a chart. You'll be able to see it coming out there. Anyone missing that piece of your personality or where you want to see more of it, can I answer questions about that? Or anyone who is on the Zoom call, I can pull you on live now. If you actually want to come live with me, I would love it. And we can share this with others, and I can answer direct questions on your actual chart. So I just need a chat window of anyone who's open or wants to pop in and ask a live question. I will bring you on and we will share live. Anyone? Anyone up for the task? No. All right, guys. No one wants to reveal their true selves. Is that it? Not today. Everybody's afraid to get real and get raw. I'm calling y'all out. Someone's thinking. Okay, so I want to ask one question. How many of you can honestly understand and see the truth here going on if you picked your parents to show you something, how to heal faster within? Are you all getting that piece? Because I want to make sure you get this. This is so big, okay? So if you see this, this is a huge wake up for all of you. And it's not negative. It's not negative. Your parents are amazing. No condemning, no anger, no disappointment about what mom and dad became. Some parents did a shitty job, period. Okay? So some people did a shitty job. And so if Bonnie, if you're on the call, do you know where your moon sits? Would you be able to share this? I know I can see several of you on here that I do know you have. I know Tanya and Jill had given me their signs earlier. And some people that are on this call, I do know you know your moon sign. And if you do, it helps other people to understand by looking at this and going, wow, it does reflect how I was kind of impacted with my parents and my childhood. So if any of you are looking, by the way, so let me just share with you what's coming up. All of this can be cleaned and cleared and taken to the next level. I want to make sure you guys know what's coming up. This is really cool. I was telling you about it earlier. It is the time right now. Those of you who want to go to level 2 and my level 2 of Spiritual Warrior Academy, it's level 2 for a lot of you who have done a lot of my work, okay? You can still join it, but you're just going to join on a different version if you haven't done my level 1 IDI Academy of the 6 steps. And the reason I bring that up is because I am starting the Spiritual Warrior Academy. There are limited seats. So if you want into this, it starts October 1st, and we will be going over all of your hotspots. We will be going over all the spiritual tools. We will be talking about your spirit guides, your angels, the universe, meditations, how to speak to the universe, signs in the universe, how to implement the universal signs, how to heal karma and do it quicker and understand where it comes from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, just go to my website, IDeserveItNow.com, or even just DawnThompson.com, and just open up all events. You'll see the Spiritual Warrior open up. The rest of you, just remember that the couples relationship toolbox is on there. Relationship stuff's coming up right now, as well as tons of goodies. Okay. So again, I got a new sign, a new moon, a moon sign in Leo. Oh my gosh. So we have someone who is on the call right now. Her moon is actually in her natal moon. Her birth moon is in Leo. Really? So that's so cool. And there's a new moon in Leo tomorrow, which means she's going to get highlighted even more so. So her moon is being sat on by the moon up in the sky. And so she's got this stellium going on. And what's really cool about that, Bonnie, is your moon in Leo is she's being asked to shine. Leo, what is it? So those of you who have Leo moons, those of you who have Leo suns, you're all being asked in this new Leo-ness to say, what is your new project? Take it and run with it. What do you want to do? What do you want to become? That's what it's asking you to do Bonnie, is to step into your Leo-ness. And what is this new project you've been holding back on? It's time to step into it and show your true self-worth and your true self-awareness of what you want to become. That's what it's asking. So whether it's the sun in Leo, whether it's the moon in Leo, it's all asking you to step into the truth, okay? It's a big piece. It's a big piece for you, especially if you have a Leo moon, and it's asking you to share. My sun is in Leo too. Your sun is not in Leo. The sun, okay, so Bonnie, the sun, transiting sun is in Leo, not your sun sign. Your birth sun is in Aquarius. Your sun transiting is in Leo, Bonnie. So someone's asking me about transits and all this kind of stuff. So again, as she's asking, here's the sun, here's this up in the sky in the constellation of Leo, the sun is up there. The Mercury is up there. The moon is up there, and her moon is up there, okay? And so it's gonna start opening this up and changing our mindset and our beliefs, okay? So guys, please remember that you can replay this on YouTube channel, and or if this helped you at all, or you're trying to explain how our charts impact us, the sun impacts us, the moon impacts us, just go and look tomorrow. It's always up. Usually my assistant has it up within 24 hours for replay. And it'll replay. Go send it to your friends. Sign up for the bell notifications on YouTube, at least so you get that. If not, don't forget the Universal Truth Tribe will ping you if you sign up there. Most of you are, but if you're not, if you're in Facebook, get on the my website and just sign up for the Universal Truth Tribe. It's free right now. So this tribe's growing weekly. I'm super excited to share with all of you. You guys have been here expanding your minds, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful to spend your time and your evening with you. I'm so happy you all joined me tonight. I needed this, you needed this, we all needed this. Just know tomorrow is a new moon in a beautiful, sunny, fiery, bright sign of Leo. It's asking us all to stand up and be the kings of our own jungle. I know you're all capable. I'm going to wish you all brightest blessings. I'll see you next week. Take care.